All right, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? In this video, I'm going to be showing you my exact step-by-step plan of how I'm going to make $100,000 per month in just the next 2 months. Now, the reason that you should listen to this video is in the last 2 months or so, I've consulted with people like Alex Hormozi, met him in person, Sam Ovens, got to meet him in person, Cole Gordon, I just bought his program, and a bunch of other people that I've been kind of like piecing different pieces of information together from to lay out this exact plan. And so what I'm going to do is pretty much combine all of the advice that I've gotten from all of these top mentors that, some of them I met in person like Hormozi, some of them I've just watched their YouTube videos, and basically laid out this step-by-step plan of how to get to $100,000 a month so that you can do the exact same thing for yourself. So let's go ahead and jump right into it on the whiteboard here. So basically, I'm going to be showing you guys, for one, I'm going to kind of explain my strategy, but also kind of tie in how this would relate to you wherever you're at to basically get to your ultimate goal or get to $100,000 a month. But so the first thing that you're going to need is a high ticket offer, right? So I'm just going to make an acronym for this. It's going to be HTO, right? So you're going to need a high ticket offer, right? Now, this is something that I've actually created in my business, and it just completely changed and revolutionized the entire way in which my company does business and the amount of money that we make. And I'm going to show you guys some math to kind of explain this. This is something I got from Alex Becker, the CEO of Hyros. And basically, the reason that a high ticket offer is the best way for you to make money is simply because of this, right? So let's say you go out and you spend $1,000 on ads, right? So you spend $1,000 on ads, okay? $1,000 on ads. This marker looks like it's dying. I'm going to switch here to a different color. But basically, whenever you spend money on ads, right, generally the easiest way from what I found is Facebook ads is just, pretty simple to get started, is whenever you go out and you compete on these ad platforms like Facebook, you're actually competing against other advertisers, right? So what happens is you go out and you're bidding against a bunch of people, and Facebook's ultimate goal is to make money, right? And so what they're going to do is whoever can spend the most to acquire a customer is going to be able to scale the furthest, right? Whoever can spend the most is going to be able to scale the furthest, right? So I'm going to just write this down. Whoever can spend most scales further and faster, right? So when we think about this, if I'm going to spend $1,000 on ads, let's say that I get leads for an average cost of like $10, right? So we're just going to say I'm paying about $10 per lead, okay? So if I spend $1,000 and I'm getting $10 a lead, obviously this breaks out to 100 leads, right? So you guys are like, cool, this makes sense, but why should I sell high ticket? Well, what I used to do is I used to sell a course for $297, right? But I'm not going to use that as the example when I break this down. I'm going to use something that is a very popular thing that a lot of people are doing now, which is starting a school community, right? So a lot of people, they'll go out and they will sell a school community for $97 per month, right? So let's say for the sake of example, that on your $97 a month school community, you're able to get 10% of people to convert, which is actually like a crazy overestimation. You're never going to be able to get 10% of people to convert, but let's just say that for sake of example. So you spend $1,000, you get 100 leads, 10% of people convert, that's 10 sales, right? So 10 sales times $97 means that you made back $997. Or no, you made back $970. Jesus, my math is bad. You made back $970. So you basically lost $30 when you went on in advertising. So you spent $1,000 on leads and you brought back $970. The cool thing is you still have 90 other leads that you can nurture and try to sell through things like email, maybe you have organic content, whatever, right? Different ways that you could try to sell these other 90 leads. But how are you going to scale this? Well, the answer is you're not. Because every time you go out and you spend money, you're actually losing money, and you have to wait until the next month that they renew at this $97 a month for you to go to scale. So your scale is just like literally handicapped, right? Now, let's compare that with a high ticket funnel, okay? So let's say we take the same $1,000, we get our same 100 leads, but this time instead of selling some BS, membership for $97 a month, we're gonna sell something for $5,000, okay? So we're gonna sell something for $5,000. Cool. Now you may be saying, how the hell am I gonna sell something for $5,000? Well, you'd be surprised it's actually a lot easier than you think. So $5,000. Now, what's interesting is even though our price is like 50 times more than the $97 thing, it's not 50 times harder to sell, right? Like to sell something for $5,000 versus $97 a month, obviously it's harder, but it's not that much harder, right? But let's say for the sake of example, out of these 100 leads that we generate, we're only closing 1% of people. We close 1% of people. So if we close one person out of our 100 leads, guess what we made? $5,000. Meaning we spent $1,000 to make $5,000, and so we 5x'd our investment. Well, guess what I can do in this example is I can take this extra $4,000 that I made in profit and I can send it back here to Facebook to get more leads and just do the same thing over and over and over again. So guys, pop quiz, quick question for you. Who do you think is going to have an easier time scaling? The person selling something for $5,000 or the person selling something for $97 a month? Well, obviously the person for $5,000, right? Like we don't even have to break that down. We just did with the math. So that's the first piece, is selling something expensive. Now here's the cool part too. In my business, I sell something for around $6,000. Price is subject to change and may go up in the future. But right now I sell something for about $6,000. I still get everybody that buys that $6,000 thing to pay me $97 a month. Meaning that you can still have your low ticket recurring thing on the back end, but sell your high ticket offer on the front end to get the cash to pay for ad spend so that you can scale faster, right? So that's the first big lesson that I learned, and part of the reason that I'm going to be able to scale to $100,000 in the next couple months is a high ticket offer, right? Remember, whoever can scale most, whoever can spend most on ads scales further and faster, right? So that's the first piece, is having a high ticket offer. Now the second piece, this is something really interesting that I literally, like, Hormozi told me this face to face in the school games. And when he said it, it made so much sense and it clicked. Is he said, you need to build a business back to front, right? So I just talked about starting with a high ticket offer, but a high ticket offer is great and you can scale far. But have you guys ever seen those people where like they're selling some course for, really expensive, and you see them everywhere on all ad platforms for like 6 months. And then immediately after 6 months, you never see that person again. Like there's so many of these damn people, I couldn't even name them all to you, but like I can just think of their faces in my mind. Though you see them all over YouTube and all over Instagram and Facebook or whatever, and then immediately 6 months later they're gone, off the face of the earth. The reason that happens is because they're only getting one front end sale and they don't have the money to continue spending. Because even if you're spending $5,000 or your product is $5,000, at a certain point you run out of people and your ads get less profitable, which is why you have to have a back end. You have to have a back end. So when Hormozi says build your business back to front, what you're thinking about is the back end offer, which is where you're going to make most of your money. Your front end offer, right, this high ticket offer that we talked about, the purpose of this is to get you customers and leads, right? So the purpose of a high ticket offer or any front end is to get customers and leads, right? Because remember, when we did our example with 5,000, we spent $1,000, we made one sale, but we still have 99 leads, right? And these people are going to buy something from us at some point. Maybe they won't buy the 5,000 high ticket offer, but they will buy something from us at some point. So high ticket offer, the only purpose is to get customers and sales. Now the back end is where we make our money, right? Back end is where you make your money. So profit, this is where you actually make your money, is on the back end. So when Hormozi says build a business back to front, I'll give you guys an example. I just spent $15,000 on a course from a guy named Cole Gordon. And the course, it's a company called Closers.io. They basically place appointment setters with people, essentially, right? So I paid this guy $15,000, which paid for all of his ad spend, paid his salespeople to close us. But here's the crazy part. That's just their front end. This is their high ticket offer. Their back end is $7,000 a month. I think it's $7,000 or $8,000 a month. And it's this mastermind called 8-Figure Boardroom. And basically, the whole purpose of this mastermind is I think there's like 300 business owners, and the goal is to get you to 1 mil per month, right? That's like the whole sales pitch. So the goal is to basically get you to $1 million a month. So what's happening is Cole is going out and he's spending like over $11,000 per day on ads, which is insane. Like picture that, $11,000 a day on ads. And basically they're making money on those ads. So they're getting all of these leads and all of these customers for free. Where it gets stupid for them is a percentage of these people are gonna ascend and buy this and pay this guy $7,000 a month for God knows how long. Which I think the LTV, like the average amount of money that he makes from one customer, average, is like 78 grand, right? But you can't sell somebody something for $78,000 on the front end. That's just not gonna happen. But think about how much Cole can spend to get a customer. It's not 15 grand, right? Even though he can spend more than 15 grand, he can lose money on the front end if he knows that the average lifetime value of a customer is $78,000, right? Same thing, I'll give you guys another example. Hormozi with Gym Launch, right? Part of the reason that that company scaled so fast and so much is their front end offer was $16,000. It was $1,000 per week for 16 weeks, or obviously 16K, right? I may be wrong on this, but I'm pretty confident. $16,000. So they can go out, spend a bunch of money, get these customers for $16,000, but the back end was a mastermind for $4,000 a month, meaning you're getting 16 on the front end, and then what is that, 48K a year on the back end. It's insane, right? Or I'll give you guys a totally different example. This company called Hyros from Alex Becker. And what he does is, they've changed this because they recently were sold to private equity, but this is how he got it started. Is when you jumped on a sales call, you had to pay 6 months up front. Because he was selling a software, right? Now with Cole and Hormozi, their businesses are like coaching businesses, so they're a little more like labor intensive. So it's harder for them to scale, so they have to charge more. But for software, I mean, he can sell as many units as the software as he wants. So he could charge a little bit less, but it's still, you know, a relatively high price. So 6 months up front, I think it's roughly like $350 a month. So, what's 350 times 6? So it's like, I think it was actually a little more. Let's say it's about $3,000 up front. It might be more than 350. So you pay $3,000 up front, you jump on a sales call and you talk to somebody. You pay $3,000 up front for Hyros, meaning they can pay for all their ads and they can run ads profitably, and they're also getting a bunch of leads. And then after your 6 months is up, you pay like $350 a month. And Alex Becker sold this company for, I think it's like $100 million like last year. All because of this way of acquiring customers, right? So what his ultimate goal was, he wanted to sell this software for $350 a month, but he knew that in order to go and run ads, he had to have this product, this $3,000 product. So how does this apply to what I'm doing? Well, let me show you guys. For my business, what I basically do is I help insurance agents make more money in their business, right? So I have my high ticket offer, which I run ads to, which is $5,800 right now. And basically, the cool thing is with my business, the back end is ridiculous. Okay, so I'm gonna show you guys this. So the back end is really cool. So the high ticket offer up front, people pay me $5,800 to help them generate leads and make more money. The back end of this business is, the way the insurance business works is kind of like an MLM, to be honest with you. So you have like, somebody here, and then everyone else that's under them, you earn like a percentage of their sales, right? Of these other people. This is a terrible drawing, but hopefully you guys get the picture. So you earn like a percentage of their sales. So, for example, if this person here sells $10,000 of insurance, you might get 30% of their sales, meaning that you make $3,000. Right? Now where this gets cool is I can scale this infinitely because I can run ads profitably and just get more and more and more and more people to basically join our insurance agency. And so every person that joins, if they're making sales, we're making a percentage of all of their sales. Let's say 30, maybe 20, maybe 10%, depending on the person, right? Let's say 20%, for example. Meaning that every person, like let's say they only do $10,000 a month in sales, which is relatively low for my industry. That means I'm making $2,000 a month on every single one of these people. So 2K, 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 right? And then this just compounds and compounds and compounds, right? So like in a year, I mean, we're gonna be way past 100K a month, but the only reason this works is if I just tried to do this, it takes a little bit of time, it takes a little bit of a ramp up for these people to start making sales. But I'm running this high ticket offer where I get paid to scale, I get paid to spend money on ads and get agents under my agency, and then my back end is paying me at least like $2,000 a month, every month, every month, every month, every month. And that's not even counting the people that do like, let's say they do like $40,000 a month, right? If they sell $40,000 in a month, then we would make like 8K. So put simply, I'm just gonna kind of write this out as a formula to show you guys the way this works. So you guys can do the exact same thing for yourself. Is number one, you want to pick a business that has a good back end. You need to pick a service that you can sell that leads them to need another service, right? And the less that's required of you, the better. Meaning like the less fulfillment you have to do, the better. So if it's like an info product and then you can provide them more knowledge, that's better. But sometimes it's easier to start like a service-based business, to be honest. But we want to start with the back end in mind, right? We need to start with the back end in mind. How are we going to make this back end as big as possible? Because ultimately this is where our money comes from. So start with the back end in mind. And then you need to come up with, and this has to be recurring, right? Recurring. And ideally compounding, okay? Recurring and compounding, okay? And then you need to have a high ticket offer on the front end, which could be, some kind of a service. A high ticket offer, let's say this can be anywhere from like $2,500 plus, ideally, $2,500 or more. And what happens is you're gonna basically set it up like this. So you have ad, and then you send these people to book a call, call, sale, percentage of this money goes back into ads, and then you're also going to end up getting leads, right? Leads, and then some of your sales are going to go into backend. Okay? So you have your ads, you run ads, you generate calls, you make sales, you reinvest that money back into ads to get more calls, to get more sales. Percentage of your sales upsell into the back end, which is recurring and compounding. So you ultimately get to a point where your business can grow like this. This right here is compound. Jesus Christ, that's a terrible arrow. Compound. And that's pretty much the game, ladies and gents. That is my plan to get to 100K a month in the next 2 months. All I have to do is spend more on ads, get more book calls, and the back end will just build and build and build. See you guys in the next one.